So I want to share a story with you guys, and this is one of the reasons why I think Little John's is so important. A couple years ago, we went to a place that cooked food for people that needed it, and we went there for the day to try and do some cooking with them to see how their process was and what their food looked like. And my team was like, what are you gonna make? They were like, nachos. And I was like, sweet. It's like 90% nacho right here, all right here in the belly, 90% of it. I showed up at this place and opened up my knife roll, got my cutting board set up, and I went to the cook and I was like, hey, so I'm ready to do the nachos. I see you got a fryer over here. Like, where are your corn tortillas? And I'll go, cut them into triangles and throw them in the fryer. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? He opened up a bag of chips, dumped them into a bowl. I was like, okay, no, that's cool. What about salsa? I'll make the salsa. So, like, I see you got a walk-in cooler over there. Do you have like tomatoes and lime and cilantro and all that? And he's like, what do you mean? He goes over and undoes a jar of paste picante salsa and dumps it into a bowl. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, no fresh chips, no fresh salsa. Like, what about cheese sauce? I'll make the cheese sauce. That sound good? And he grabs a number 10 can and he opens it up and just out a whole thing of nacho cheddar canned cheese into a saucepan to heat it up. I was like, cool. And he's like, we're gonna make the meat for the nachos. I was like, sweet. Like, is it steak or is it ground beef? Like, where are your spices at so I can do it? And he's like, no. I'm gonna show you this. It's a trick I learned. It's the best way to do meat. And I was like, oh, cool. And he takes a 5-pound log of frozen beef and just thwonks it right into the pot. And then he takes 2 packets of fajita seasoning, and this again into a cold pot. 2 packets of fajita seasoning all over the top of it, puts in a quart of water, covers it with a lid, and turns it on high. And it's like, cool, now we can go hang out and watch the game for a bit before we have to feed everybody. And this is in no way a knock on who this person was. They're an incredible person. They care so much about the people that they serve. But with the resources that they have and with the time that they have to cook the amount of people that they have, there are certain shortcuts that they just ended up getting used to taking. So for me, that's one of the reasons I love Little John's is when we put food out, we're cutting those tortillas fresh from scratch and we're frying them in a fryer and we're making beautiful salsa from scratch and cutting up our tomatoes and jalapeno and onion and cilantro. We're making our cheese sauce from scratch that we can put on top. And we're cooking all of our meat from scratch as well, from fresh, not frozen product. Our goal is to steer away from what we traditionally serve people in need and feed more the kind of food that we would want to be served ourselves.